Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 25 of our Overwatch self-coaching series. I am Maxis. It looks like we're going to be playing on Blizzard World here, starting on attack. For Blizzard World, I expect I'm going to start with Zenyatta or D.Va for my characters. Mainly because I always try and choose one of these two roles because everybody wants a DPS. It's very rare that I'll insta-lock DPS, but also, people tend to want to go main healer or main tank over off tank, mainly because even though main tank has their responsibilities like Ryan and Risa have their complexities, a lot of people don't fully understand what an off tank does, so or what they're supposed to do. So they don't really like playing them in like the lower brackets because they just treat them as a brawler usually. They don't usually use their secondary abilities like the Zarya's personal and projected bubbles in a way that can help the team, or D.Va's defense matrix in a way that can help the team. With our predictions in mind, we're going to go ahead and see what our first choice is for the match.
Prepare to attack. Select your hero.
Another thing to note as far as plans of attack, it looks like Beepers is going to be taking Zenyatta, so I'm most likely going to lock in D.Va, but then somebody goes Zarya first, and then eventually switch to Winston. As far as our team composition right here, we have a little bit of healing that can go towards our Pharah and the Zenyatta, but despite them being mother and daughter, unless you have a really good Ana who's probably diamond level or higher as far as aim, she doesn't really do very well for healing Pharah. So that's not too good of a matchup. And then secondly, as far as Zenyatta and Ana go, they don't like to sit at the same range as far as their positioning, so they can't really help each other. Which is why you'll often hear a lot of pros say that Ana Zen is not a very good combination for healers. You'd much more want a Lucio that can quickly heal for the Ana, or you'd want like a Mercy who would stay closer to the Zen, or also be able to apply to him quickly. With that in mind though, on attack, most of the time attack doesn't get dove as easily, as often as defenses do. So for now it should be alright. We can see here that they have two main healers, Ana and Mercy. I'm gonna eat the fire strike there. Winston and I are together for now, and I decided to peel out of there because their Zarya was using her personal, and if I stayed and waited it out, it would most likely have ended in my death, or the D.Va's death, I should say. But we also basically lost that push because we hadn't coordinated with our teammates. Our supports really couldn't follow us up there, and we engaged too hard in a position where we had no defense. Now I've just been trying to get out of it this whole time, or to sustain. Right now Winston, like I was basically just getting there a second ago, now our Winston is by going in there, but he retreated, which is good. And now we essentially have to wait for myself to get back in there before we can push. I have no idea what their Mercy was thinking there. That was a kind of a brain dead plan, and I'm guessing that Ana was just desperate to get some heals on me there. But otherwise, that was a really bad, really bad nano on his part. I really have no idea what he was planning there.
Oh, it's just an all-around harm. Yeah.
So we've traded, but now we've lost our second DPS. So really, we should think about getting out of here. We can sustain, or rather try and burn down the shield a little bit, but unless we get some, look, we got a second kill there, so both of our deaths and their first death should have been nullified by that point. Torbjorn put his turret in a place where he can't really help it, he can't really feel it. Oh, that's a nice pulse bomb. I was gonna say that was a bad spot for that, our Mercy, but that was their Mercy. It was in their backline. So between my Diva Bomb there, which really, I could have saved it a little bit longer, not gotten hit, not risked it, but it's still okay. It's still okay that I got hit there with the Fire Strike. Well, not the Fire Strike, the Earth Shatter. I kind of calculated that their Reinhardt would charge our the busting of the Elton, so I wanted to put down my bomb in hopes that he would not be able to put up his shield. Okay, I was gonna say I should turn around and get the Mega there just so that I can sustain in their backline. I need to pull out of here though. I'm taking too much damage. Now that's the one thing about like Diva and Winston. If they're starting to take too much damage, they can disengage from like the enemy fire without fully disengaging from the fight. You'll often see, depending on who you watch, but I'm particularly thinking of like Space and Emong. They'll tend to like I took place up on this high ground here for a little while so that I was out of the range of the Reinhardt, and right there I flew right to our Ana and got up on top. I'm letting our Winston take a lot of damage, but he has to. He didn't end up dying, but he wasn't. His health wasn't drained so well. We were able to sustain him between our Zenyatta and our Ana, which is pretty good. But what we were basically doing there was trading in and out. I would go in, I'd take damage, I'd retreat, he'd go in, back and forth. And right now we're just trying to take advantage of the fact that a lot of them got old spawn, so we're trying to keep their team from retreating back into the catacombs where they can reset up. We're trying to make sure that they, like, we stepped off a payload by now, unfortunately, but it was our main reason why we were pushing in there so hard was to just occupy their team, so that I was hoping that we could at least get to this corner before they got back, but if you notice, somewhere in the middle there, we stopped pushing the payload because too many of us were coming to help. Now, I really should throw my Diva Bomb in here. That might be a bit late for it, because we broke the Reinhardt barrier, and we should have tried destroying or using a bomb during that opportunity. And now, with our Tracer down and my mech down, we need to get out of here, or die on the payload. Now, dying on the payload, again, it's not a real strategy, it doesn't help you. What it does, it causes a hard reset, so that you don't trickle. It's not really like, if you're trying to defend the last 10 meters and they can't, and they say die on payload, that's not gonna help anything. Now, I noted somewhere in there that they switch our Winston switched to Hog, so I switched to Orisa. Pretty good. Again, this is before the Pro started just preaching this combination, but it's always been a good one. I'm shooting the bubbles too much, in my opinion. The hook combo, the hook hook combo is it doesn't work as effectively with the enemy Reinhardt, because he gets pulled with it as well, and so does the shield, so it ends up protecting it. But it's still okay to attempt it. I'm also going to assume that we're not going to get very much further than we are right now. We're sustaining here, but we're not getting any real value out of our team fights. I've got my supercharger, which we're currently boosting our hog. As soon as that runs out, I should put down my supercharger. Except for the fact that the team, we didn't like team wipe them, but we sustained the team fight, and now we've lost. So we should retreat. There's only Hog and myself left, so we should try. We should try and get out of here. We should not use our. I guess the reason we did that was because we were. I didn't realize how close to out of time we were. That's how come we used our supercharger early in that fight, earlier than I expected us to, because we had just lost 3. I hadn't been able to replace my shield. I think it was on cooldown, or yeah, I probably just placed that shield when the tree went off. That's why I was hiding behind my own shield when I was shooting him. I tried to force him to use it early, but apparently it didn't work, and because he fired it earlier than they were able to get behind my shield, we lost our soldier, Anna, and our McCree to him. So that was unfortunate. Let's move ahead a little bit to get to
First battle, no shield. Harisa's a bit far back. Not as far as I thought,
that
though.
was a debate about whether who would take what position, and our Anna wanted to take shield, wanted to go tank, I guess. So I was willing to switch with her and go main off healer, hybrid healer. That's what I'm gonna call that too. So now, hybrid healer.
Alright, you stay with Harisa. I'm gonna stay with Hog.
We're doing a 2-pronged defense sort of thing, and I'm just trying to like balance it to where we're not losing value. Like if we're both swarming back and forth between the 2 positions, it's gonna turn out badly.
Doom's up here with us, McCree. And Mercy.
And Widow, watch out for Widow.
Now that goes exactly against what I'd said to the Moira earlier about you stay there, I'll stay here. I was managing myself. I did not expect her to be there at all, but it's okay that she came. We didn't end up dying because of it, but it was risky.
Doomfist, right side.
If our Arisa had died during that time, I would have pegged it on the Moira because, and I know putting blame on your teammates isn't great, but
Doom's low back.
I would have considered it. I'd expected her to stay there, sort of thing, so I wasn't even focusing Arisa for healing. But you know, it turned out okay. And I put down that immortality field so that I could get a couple shots up here on the Widow. We don't need to. The fact that we're up here is a little bit risky, the 3 of us. But it's not really my job to be contesting that Widow. I need to actually get out of dodge. It's McCree slightly, but we need to kind of switch to deal with her. We have 2 static tanks. We got no dive characters, no long range sniping, so that was okay. That was a good fire Junkrat. But yeah, we just don't have anything to do with the Widow right now.
All better. Now.
Looks like they've gone.
They've switched from Widow to Genji.
And Genji. That's the one I was looking for. They switched off to Widow because, despite the fact that we weren't countering her, she wasn't getting enough value. And as my brother said, and you'll see in a couple videos later on in the series, he goes how he handles Sand Dagger. In his opinion, a Widow needs to get 2 kills per engagement before she's getting value. Now, the reason behind that is that Like with any other DPS, they have at least some shield break potential and some cleave damage
Yeah, we just
potential.
blew our whole load there. We got Hog coming up.
Yeah, we use too many ultimates to hold that.
Shit.
I agree with myself there entirely. But what I was saying about Widow, she doesn't have shield break potential. I mean, she does 150 damage per fully charged shot.
Get that
So a
shit
lot
away.
of people might argue that she needs to shoot shields more often. But the thing about Widow is she gives away her position with her Tracer whenever she shoots. So she actually wants to avoid shooting as much as possible.
Somewhere I take it.
Which means that she has to or wants to have a guaranteed line of sight when she or a guaranteed kill when she fires. Unless it's a tank, then she knows she's not going to get guaranteed kill. But she has to kill. She does no other value than taking out enemies, so she has to kill 2. One for herself, and then one for to gain value. One to even out, one to gain value. I guess I haven't really been talking much about what's going on here. I did a good defense on our hog there. He got charged, so I put a immortality field down for him, and I went ahead and I put a my amplification matrix on point. Now, one thing that I noticed about my Baptiste play is I do not burn his ult as much as I should. It comes up very easily, a lot like Sombra's. Sombra has, as long as she's dealing damage to the right character, she can gain her ult way fast. And same with Baptiste. If he's doing enough healing and doing a little bit of damage, he can heal, or he can build his ult in about 25 seconds, maybe 45, similar to a Junkrat. So I should be using his ultimate, not quite on cooldown, but maybe within 15 seconds of it, I should look for an opportunity. I definitely want to be using it more often than our Orisa is using her supercharger, simply based on the fact that it takes a lot longer for that to come up. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. It was a relatively easy win once we switched up our roles. Aprila was doing okay on Ana. She wasn't doing badly, but she was getting dove and countered, which she wasn't able to handle, as well as for myself, who dabbles a lot in DPS characters. As a healer, I can defend myself fairly well. So that was what caused us to have a full hold there, was the fact that Aprila was willing to go tank and I was willing to go healer. She was a stronger Orisa than I was, or they were a stronger Orisa than I was. I don't think they were ever in voice chat, so I don't know what their alignment is. And then I was a stronger healer than they were. If only slightly, it just stabilized things and made it easier for us to win. So that's when somebody asks you to switch, just think about it in that sense. Maybe they can do a little bit better in your slot than you can. And if you're playing DPS and they ask you to switch, try and be constructive about it. Either switch to something that helps the team, like if they're saying your McCree's being countered, switch to a Junkrat. Or if your Widow's being dove too much, switch to a McCree or something in closer range. It doesn't mean you're doing badly, it just means that the current hero you're on isn't working. Alright, once again, everybody have a great day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell notification to get notified when I make a new video.